Good morning. Today is the 26th of July and here we are at Grimsthorpe Castle in Lincolnshire for Festival of the Unexceptional 2025. I do apologise in advance if I fall over, if I get things wrong, if I get interrupted by music and announcements and eager channel fans. I'm afraid it's just the way that it goes on this channel. There'll be multiple parts, viewers. If you're not in for 8 to 9 parts of the coverage, then I suggest you go and watch something else, because that's what we're doing. Also, viewers, there are certain vehicles we do not talk about on this channel. Thank you, Mayor of London, and all your friends around the country for your ultra emission and clean air zones. So if you don't like that, turn the video off right away, because that's what's happening. Anyway, here we are in the Concourse section. We're going to start off with this Lancia Beta from 1979. These were the cars that got Lancia the worst reputation you could possibly imagine in the United Kingdom for rust. It was the front subframes that tended to fail on them. Now, they didn't necessarily result in the engines falling out. That was a bit of a myth, but Lancia had to buy these cars back and eventually they crushed them. So very, very rare in this country. This one is not a UK market car. Can't remember where this is from actually now. I haven't got time to read all the information views because he's got a lot of cars to cover. But that is very nice. There's another one of these actually elsewhere, but that is fantastic. I love the look of these things. Next, we've got a 1981 Talbot Alpine. Again, this is a car that I absolutely adore the look of. Designed by Roy Axe in the mid-70s and released in this country she has a Chrysler, known as a Simca and a Talbot and all kinds of other names as well. This is a relatively basic one, a 1.5 GL with the good old Simca Poissy engine. I have driven a car, actually no, a couple of cars with a Poissy engine actually, and they can be made to be quite quiet, but they can be very tappety, just the way that it goes. But that is lovely. That I really want to drive one of these, viewers, or a Solara. I would be fine. Then we're going to go to this Fiesta Meridian. Now, Meridian were the broadcaster for Central, Southern and South East England on the ITV network. With this logo here at the time, they started broadcasting January 1993, and this registration number, TP, is a Portsmouth plate which also covers the Southampton area. I wouldn't be surprised if this car was registered actually in Southampton. So the Meridian was only available at dealers in the Meridian broadcast area. Technically Meridian is still in operation, but they're just part of ITV now and they're a bit bland, but at the time it was very new and exciting. And yeah, we won't go on about TVS and things like that, viewers, because that's another story another time. But I remember these ones actually coming out, and that's in superb condition. Oh, there we go, sorry, no, not, it's Hayling Island, there we go, Hayling Island, that's also near Portsmouth, there you go. And we've got a Favourite Forum. Wow. All of these use the same 1289cc overhead valve engine that had been introduced in, I think, 1 litre form in 1964 and actually was used until about 2004, this engine. This is a 92, this particular car. And that's in fantastic condition. That's absolutely beautiful. Next, we're going to look at this Fiat Ulysse, I think that's how you say it. I've not seen one of these for a really, really long time. These were actually known as the Eurovans. They came out about 1993. There was a Lancia version, we didn't get that in this country. Also Peugeot and Citroen versions. This is the Fiat version. I think they were made at the Seville factory. I can't remember where that was now. This is the EL with the 2 litre engine. Absolutely, utterly fantastic. I love the look of this. They're so rare, these Eurovans now. They don't have any value, I suppose. That's probably what it is, most of these. And we've got this Almera N15 Almera, this will be. I suspect this was originally a Nissan UK car due to the JA Oxford plate on this. That's when Nissan used to register their press cars at the time. There we go, with the good old GA engine. It's probably a GA16. GA16 engines are absolutely brilliant. I really must own another car with this engine. Immaculate condition, 1997, this particular car. The N15s are pretty much forgotten. I mean, the N14 Sunnies are pretty much forgotten as well, but that is fantastic. Then we've got a Daewoo Lanos. Now, this is a base model Lanos. I think it's called an S with the unpainted bumpers. One of these was in the Concourse section last year. I drove and actually it was one up from the base model. This is actually a base model. They're very, very rare. I didn't sell a lot of these base models. But I've driven two Landers. I drove two last year, a 1.4 and a 1.6, so I do know what they're like. They are not the most memorable cars to drive, viewers, to be honest. I'll have to admit that, but I'm fascinated by Deus. I always have been for some reason. I don't know why. I'm surprised I've not owned one, actually. And then a Fiat Multipla. This is a 2000, like the Ulysse. Ulysse, I don't know how you say it. But this is actually within the confines of what is now eligible for the Concourse. It's a 25-year rule, and it's so we're between 1970 and 2000. So this is a 2000, and it's a petrol, which is brilliant. I love the petrol ones, obviously. Next, we've got a 1999 Ford Mondeo Mark II. This looks like an LX or something. It's a 2-litre. These are not worth tons of money, these normal Mark IIs particularly. So 2-litre LX. I drove a very similar one of these. I think, what was it? Last year I drove one of these. They're all right, actually. Good engine, actually, the 2-litre Zetec R engine. That one's actually really nice. And there's something that we like very, very much, viewers, an R8 Rover 200. This is a 214 SLI. This will be probably with the late 92. This will be. They actually changed the shape of the indicator at front in the autumn of 1992, and also changed this engine 1.4 from 95 to 103 horsepower. This has still got the 95 horsepower engine in it, so this is a very late pre-facelift. I think this is flame red, this colour. That's immaculate, actually. I've owned 3 of these, so I know them pretty well, viewers. Then we've got a 1986 Bedford Rascal, quite an early one. I think these came out 85. When I was at school, the laundry at the school we used these was around boarding houses. And I had a whole fleet of these. And we don't have anything like this really anymore, I don't think. Oh, there we go, look at a really early one, this. Really early one. I'm surprised these are only left, because they used to have a terrible reputation for rust. Isn't that funny? It's a Bedford, but it's still got the Suzuki valve cover on there, because it is a Suzuki supercarry. That's what they are. This is one of the vehicles that's been badged the most makes of any in the world. It's one of the only vehicles that's ever been badged with both Ford and Chevrolet badges, which is bonkers. Anyway, next we've got this car here. Now, I had this on the channel. There's actually 2 cars in this Concourse I've had on my channel. This is one of them. This was actually on the channel just earlier this week. I filmed it last month, but it was on earlier this week. I really need to get a sticker for Jake, who owns this. This is a 1999 Renault Clio 1.2 Iron Grande, or Grande, I think it's Grande. It is in ridiculous condition. Absolutely ridiculous. He uses it on a daily basis, but he's done things like completely refurbishing these wheel trims and things like that. There's really nothing wrong with the car. It's amazing. It's virtually a base model, this, but it's immaculate. So that's my tip to win, but I don't know what will win, viewers. We'll have to see. Anyway, and we got a Montego. This is quite an early one. The very earliest ones I think came out on an A plate. This is on a B plate. And it's 1.6L, a pretty normal spec for these. You can see here we've got the receipt here. This does actually have the date on it. Yeah, November 84. So this is from the first year of production. It's not got the fancy dash or anything, but this is first of all exceptional. So why would it have the fancy dash? That is absolutely fantastic. I love Montegos. They actually are far better than Maestros in my opinion. Don't let anyone hear that, but that's just my opinion. And another car I filmed this in 2021. This is a 1989 Nissan Sunny B12 Estate. You can see here it was registered in Poole. Here's the original invoice on here from April 89. I think this one's got the GA16 engine in it. It's been a long time since I filmed this, but the GA16 engine, like the one in the Almira as well, is fantastic. The Sunny Estate was not the same as the saloon and normal hatchback Sunnys like the N13, like mine, that we'll see later. This was a completely separate family of models. I don't know why Nissan had the most confusing range in the world back in the late 80s, but they did. But there we go. This car again is in fantastic condition, and a Datsun as well, Datsun Cherry 100A. Now I think my father-in-law's got one of these tucked away in his garage. I've never seen it. It's been off the road for over 40 years. But I think it's one of these actually. It's a white one apparently. These are just fantastic. Seeing so many Nissans on here. Of course, I'm in the what's called the Datsun Owners Club UK Facebook group, which caters for pre-1995 Nissans and Datsuns. And this makes me extremely happy to see this and the estate next to each other. And we've got a base model Golf Mark II, an early one as well. This is an 84 Golf C. I think it would be a 1.3 in this. One of my friends used to have one of these. It was his mother's. It was his first car, it was an automatic one. I can't remember if it was a CL or a C, but it's this colour and about this age. But the C was absolutely bottom of the range. You know, we probably not even got internally adjustable mirrors in this thing. Very, very basic dashboard, 4-speed gearbox. Austere kind of 1980s Volkswagen, because you didn't really get any luxury in anything like this. And then we've got a Mark III Polo. Now, Mark III Polos are very special to me because my twin sister and I had one of these as our first car. It was a 1998 1.4 CL in what was called bright green, which is like actually a dark green. This is a little bit lower down the model tree. We've got windy windows in this and things like that. Extraordinary. Now this has been actually imported from somewhere else. Quite low down. It's not got an airbag or anything. So I imagine this is like a 1 litre. Yeah, 1 litre with I think 50 horsepower. These have. Definitely imported from somewhere like Czech Republic, something like that. Unfortunately, I haven't got time to read all these information sheets. I've got to keep going because we've got a long way to go, viewers, and short time to get there. As they say, Smokey and the Bandit. Right, let's go over here and have a look at this Escort. Oh yes, viewers. A gear. I got a second. You can't have both GL and gear badges, viewers. What's going on here? Oh, it's an automatic as well. There's something funny going on here, viewers. I mean, gear, we'd have things like electric windows. Do we have electric windows? We have windy windows. Maybe this is a gear. I don't know. What's going on here? I'm very confused, viewers. I can't believe it, but this early on in the Shambolic Shuffle, we're already very confused. Anyway, this will be, I think, an 89. There's a very late Mark IV, and I quite like these actually, because I drove one of these. It's a 1.3L from 1988 last year in this colour, and 1990, sorry, and I quite enjoyed it. I don't know what's going on with these badges, though, viewers. I'm confused. Anyway. 1994 Volkswagen Polo Mark II facelift, very late one actually. The Mark III came in 1994 as well, so on an M plate. Now these Mark II facelifts were much more basic. We only got a brake servo in these in 1990. The pre-facelift ones do not have a brake servo, and they are extremely scary to drive. They're also got very heavy steering. You didn't get power steering in any of these, and they're a bit cramped. And my family owned loads of these, not the later ones like this, the pre-facelift ones, so I know them pretty well. I drove a G40 one of these in 2019, or it was a long time ago now, and that was fast. This Boulevard version, do we even get a 5-speed gearbox in here? No, we do not. We've got a 4-speed gearbox. Great. Plus, Unexceptional is definitely proving itself to be unexceptional. Next, we've got another R8 Rover 200. This is actually lower spec than the last one. This is an SI, not an SLI. Again, K plate, so 1992. This one again is a pre-facelift. I love the colour. This is absolutely amazing. How do you choose between them? I think I prefer the colour of this one, but I prefer the spec of the other one. So, I don't know. Maybe I don't vote for either. Ooh, a Vauxhall Cavalier 1.6L. Now these have the most amazing engine. The 1.6 Mark II Cavaliers are really fast, like stupidly fast. I drove one of these in automatic and it was really powerful. They're bonkers fast. This one's not got a passenger mirror. welcome to Festival Unexceptional viewers. 17,000 miles from new. This is the saloon. They had two faces, one in 1985, one in 1987, I think. But really good cars. Fortunately, I have been offered another one. I haven't driven one of these for many, many years, but I have been offered another one, which is a manual rather than auto, so we'll have a go in that at some point soon. But yeah, fantastic. Oh, viewers, a 1998 Perodua Nipper EX. Why it says 2000? No, 2000 plate. Maybe it was built in 98. I don't know. These are, well, they're pretty rare. I think it was Britain's cheapest new car. This is the base model, which doesn't really have anything in it. Like, we've got part vinyl seats, for example, in these. Just nothing. Look at these extraordinary door cards. No rev counter. Nothing. Just nothing at all. But there we go. You know, this is the sort of thing what we like. Again, 2000 plate, but eligible for Festival Unexceptional Concourse this year because of the 25-year to 55-year rolling rule. And a K11 Micra, because why not? This is a 2000 K11. It's just before the second facelift these had. This is 1 litre celebration. Millions and millions and millions of special editions on these, like this celebration model. Brilliant. And then a Mercedes A-Class. Again, this is a very early one. They came out in 98, I think. That looks suspiciously like it is a Mercedes-Benz factory plate, actually, but it's a base model. It's A140 Classic. Hopefully this has got the ESP in it. There we go. I was right. Good to be right about something for a change, viewers. I wonder why they gave him a base model. Strange. Anyway, that looks in remarkable condition, viewers. So spanning the years, 1970 to 2000, this is right at the sort of the beginning. This very, very late Triumph 300 TC. I drove one of these actually last year. It was not the TC model, the standard one, the 69, which is also in really nice condition. The TC is better, you get more power, a little bit faster, but also I think you get a brake servo. That's kind of important, viewers, because otherwise it's a bit scary trying to stop in one of these. But fantastic cars, very nice to drive, quite modern feeling for the time. The only thing is, the engine's really weird. It's actually a transmission sump engine, very tall engine, and the starter motor is actually on the back of the engine, so it's quite loud actually when you start them. But fantastic, I really enjoyed the one I drove last year. Fiat Punto. This is the 85 SX model. This is one of the later ones compared with the two early ones I've driven. Both 94s are the ones I've driven. This is one of the later ones. It's a 1998. And that'll be pretty swift actually, the 80, I think it's 83 horsepower actually, of the 85 badge models. 1998 Citroen Zara 1.4X. Now I have driven one of these. It was a bit more luxurious. It was a 1.8. This will be the base model. Quite an early one. I think they actually come with an R plate rather than an S plate. But no, that's quite early. These are cars that are almost entirely forgotten. Nobody really knows anything about them because they weren't actually as quirky as a lot of the Citroens that have come before. Certainly something like a ZX or a BX or something. Certainly not. Or Xantia. And then, wow, a Citroen Visa, an early Visa. They call a pig nose Visa. Look at the front of this. This is extraordinary. Now, does this have the two-cylinder engine in it? I don't know. Some of these had the four-cylinder suitcase engine. Some have the two-cylinder 2CV engine. This one, I don't know. And it's been a long time since I've seen one of the early ones like this. I think they were the pig nose ones. That is just amazing. So, I'm pretty sure this is a petrol one. It's a 1991 Peugeot 205 Trio. Towards the end, the 205s were discontinued in this country in 1996. Towards the end, and this is sort of the beginning of the end of this Trio model, most of them were special edition ones. and gradually they sort of phased them out before they discontinued them entirely in right-hand drive in 1996. This only has a 4-speed gearbox. It suggests to me I think it's a 1.1. One of my friends actually had one of these for his first car. It was a red one. I remember going in it actually. By this stage, the 205 had been in production for a very long time, 8 years at this point, and had several years still left to run. This is sort of towards the bottom of the range. The GTIs were still being made around this time. But of course, this is factory Unexceptional. We don't want GTIs, we want a strange special edition. And so, here we are. Right, viewers, we're going to work our way through this event as systematically as we can. So, 1989 Vauxhall Nova Merit. I think this is from the British Motor Museum collection. The heritage collection of Vauxhall was removed from Luton when Luton started to be closed down a few years ago. And it's a saloon. So, first facelift car, second facelift occurred a little bit later, 1990. 1.2 Merit. Donated to the collection in 2025. I think it needs a bit of work, viewers, but same family from new. Remarkable history, there we go. I drove one of these. It was a 1-litre trip model from 1991, a couple of years ago. I think 2022 or 2023 I drove it. Weather was a bit warmer than it is at the moment. Next we've got a Toyota Avensis, very early Avensis, I think in 97, when they came out, 1.8 CDX. That looks very nice, viewers. I quite like this actually. I wonder if this one was donated by Toyota. I don't know. It's a very early one. Made it up at Burniston. 1979 Prelude. This is given to Honda. Sorry, they're given by Honda to British Leyland when they then made the sort of agreement to make the Triumph Acclaim, this particular car. And we've got a rear wiper. Yes, viewers. Brilliant. We like that kind of thing, don't we? Very, very much. Very early Prelude as well. Then we've got a couple of prototypes. This is the SD2 prototype. It was going to be a Triumph actually. It was going to replace the Dolomite, but they never actually made this. I don't know whether it would have been successful or not, to be honest. I don't know. You see it says Triumph 1500 on the front of it, so it would have exactly replaced the Dolomite. Then we've got the this very strange looking thing here, which is called the ECV3 from 1981. It looks very strange. It was a 1-litre, 3-cylinder fuel-injected single-overhead cam engine. It could do more than 100 miles per gallon. Basically, what would it have been like the sort of equivalent to the Maxi or something like that, but into the future. I'm sort of glad we didn't make this in a way because the styling, I'm not sure it's particularly good. So, then we have the mini prototype made by Alec Isagonis, the 9X. Alec Isagonis made an awful lot of mini prototypes to replace the original one, and this is just one of them. There were tons and tons of these. This was made in 1969. It's still really spacious, but again, I don't think the management were particularly bothered about it. The Mini was still selling quite well, and they didn't put money to replace it, which is a bit silly, really, but never mind. Oh, viewers, a Nissan Prairie, based on a Stander. I'm one of the only people in this country to have driven 2 Nissan Standards on the same day. Yes, I did it in 2021. I am crazy. It's no wonder I'm a big fan of 80s Nissans. So this is the 1.8 SGL, which is top of the range, in 1987. They are very, very rare cars, these. They don't even have, they have no B-pillar at all. The strength is in these doors. I don't know if you can drive it too effectively with the doors open. Maybe you can. But there we go. I am ecstatically happy, viewers. Particularly as we're right next to an Allegro estate. 7778 registration on an S, and yes, of course, I have driven one of these as well. I drove it in 2023. It was a very late Series 2, like this one. It was a 1.5. This is a 1.3 with the A series. I forget the name of this colour now, viewers. I've forgotten it. It's not lime flower, I don't think. I think it's later than that. But yeah, there we go. Then we've got a Mini from the 1980s, early 80s, 81, 82 registration, Mini City, base model of the time, with the houndstooth interior, which is also on some of the early Metros. Excellent. I mean, that's good, but I personally prefer this Ford Orion gear sitting next to it. Early Orion, these came out in 1984, the Orions. They're basically like a much nicer version of a Mark III Escort. I much prefer an Orion to an Escort. I don't know whether actually they're more or less valuable, but this will be the 1.6 CVH engine in this, with some amazing rear lights. Look at those rear lights, views. Isn't that fantastic? Possibly registered originally by Ford UK with Essex plates, but I don't know. Somebody in the comment section below can maybe tell me. So an 85-86 on a C. Then we have a Citroën CX Athena, nouveau moteur 2 litres. Excellent. Citroën Préfet Total. So where this is from, I don't actually know. Probably from one of the Benelux countries, to be honest. Incredible shape. The Phase 2 cars didn't come out till much later. Most of them are Phase 1s. Obviously, maybe some friends are here because we've got a BX. I drove one of these a long time ago, viewers, and I can't talk about it on the channel, viewers, because of, well, reasons. Some of these have the side windows like this one, some of them don't. Early car is a 16 TRS automatic, so a nice rare specification, like the Orion Honesty registration 85-86. Oh, viewers, now we're getting into some nice familiar territory. A Volvo V70 that we can't talk about. Better get out of here, viewers. Okay. And then a Talbot Samba convertible. Yes, viewers. Coventry plate, so possibly registered by Peugeot Talbot themselves. Or this Man Egerton, which is reproduction plates, just tell me. 83, 84 registration. One thing I like about this event is seeing rarities like this. You don't tend to see stuff like this in many other places. This is a very luxurious Samba. We've got electric windows, a 5-speed gearbox and a rev counter. So we're doing quite well, although the practicality of the hatchback is somewhat undermined by the convertible because that opening is absolutely tiny. Next, NB MX-5, pre-facelift one. Probably about 99, something like that, I imagine. Excellent. All viewers, 2003 to 2004 Fiat Stilo Abarth. It was actually a Schumacher edition of these. The Stilos are very rare now. They they didn't really last very long. They weren't very valuable. They weren't very successful, really. They tried to make a Golf at Fiat. It didn't quite work out for them. This one, though, is pretty interesting. We've got the, I think it was Cellar-speed gearbox in this. We've got the 2.4 5-cylinder engine. This is a much more interesting version than the normal Stilos. I have driven one of these. It was a 1.4, which I drove in 2024, which had seen better days, I think. That's the way I'd describe it. Ooh, viewers, a 216 GSI. Earlier on, we saw in the Concourse section the pre-facelift R8s, 2214s. This is a 216. And in late 1992, they actually changed the front end a bit with these different wings and different indicators to show that the 95 brake horsepower 1.4 K series was replaced by the 103 brake horsepower. This isn't the K series, this is a Honda D series. At the time, all the cars became Euro 1 compliant, all got catalytic converters. This actually is just before the grille was fitted to all the 200s. The 400s got it in 92. These got it in late 93. So this is just before they fitted the grills to it. And also we've got the earlier rear lights. So yeah, late 93, but just before they made those sort of changes. Another Datsun Cherry 100A. 2 Datsun Cherry 100As in the same video, viewers. I am extremely excited. I might go and have a lie down in a second because I'm far too excited, viewers. Brilliant. What more is there to say other than I like it? Ooh, some Volvo 240s. Is this a GLT, viewers? This one's got a catalytic converter, lambda sonde at the front, 90 to 1991 registration, this particular one. Yes, we like very, very much, viewers. Okay, it's a GL with the GLT wheels rather than actual GLT. Lambda sonde thing, I know about that because my mother actually had a 1989 Volvo 240 GL estate from 1990 to 2001. And it also was a cat model like this. So lambda sonde and the cat thing on the back. And then very, very nice views. Very appropriate plate. I mean, I don't know if this is the same year as the car, but this is G240 GLT. We like that very much, viewers. Yes, please. Some subtle modifications on there. There we go. We'll finish this part, viewers, because I can see the timer ticking down. With this Mark II Mondeo 2-litre gear. Now we need a Gear X ready, viewers, because we need a leather interior. I have driven a Mark II Gear X. That's very nice nevertheless. Anyway, thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment below, and we shall see you again in part 2 for some more incorrect information.